Chapter 3. A Day in the Life of Adam and Eve. Early humans, like Adam and Eve, lived in small groups, moving from place to place in search of food. They hunted animals, gathered fruits, nuts, and roots, and relied on their knowledge of nature to survive. Their lives were shaped by the environment, the seasons, and the availability of resources. Unlike modern societies, they had no fixed homes, no governments, and no written laws. Yet, they thrived for thousands of years. Food was not always scarce. Many hunter-gatherers lived in rich environments where they could find plenty to eat. They ate a wide variety of foods, making their diet more diverse and nutritious than that of later agricultural societies. Hunting was not always necessary, as plants, berries, and nuts often provided enough sustenance. When they did hunt, they used tools like spears and bows and worked together to bring down large animals. Meat was shared among the group, ensuring everyone had enough to eat. Daily life was filled with activities that required skill and cooperation. People made tools from stone and wood, crafted baskets and clothing, and built simple shelters when needed. They communicated using language, which helped them share knowledge about food sources, dangers, and survival techniques. Storytelling was an important part of their culture, allowing them to pass down information from one generation to the next. Contrary to the idea that early humans lived in constant fear of wild animals, they were often the top predators in their environment. While they had to be cautious of large animals like lions and bears, their intelligence and ability to work together made them highly successful hunters. They also knew how to avoid danger by reading animal tracks and understanding the behavior of different species. Social bonds were strong, and cooperation was essential. People relied on each other for protection, food, and care. Unlike later agricultural societies, where class divisions and private property created social hierarchies, hunter-gatherers lived in relatively equal groups. There were no kings or rulers, decisions were made together, and resources were shared. This way of life allowed them to avoid many of the problems that later civilizations faced, such as extreme poverty and oppression. Their understanding of nature was deep. They knew which plants were edible, which had medicinal properties, and which were poisonous. They observed the movements of animals and learned how to track them. They understood the seasons and the best times to gather certain foods. This knowledge was passed down through generations, helping them survive in different environments, from forests to deserts. The introduction of agriculture changed everything. People began to settle in one place, grow crops, and domesticate animals. This led to the rise of villages, towns, and cities. While farming allowed for larger populations, it also introduced new challenges. People had to work harder than before, planting and harvesting crops, protecting their fields from pests, and storing food for the future. Their diet became less varied, leading to health problems. Farming also led to social divisions, as some people accumulated wealth and power while others worked in the fields. Hunter-gatherers lived in balance with nature, taking what they needed and moving on, allowing ecosystems to recover. They did not overhunt animals or destroy forests. When they encountered other groups, they sometimes traded, exchanged knowledge, or formed alliances. At times, there were conflicts, but large-scale wars were rare. Their way of life lasted for tens of thousands of years, far longer than any civilization in history. The shift to farming and modern society brought many advancements, but it also came with challenges that early humans never faced. Understanding how they lived helps us see how human history unfolded and why the world is the way it is today.